So today will be another video of another channel I want you guys to check out. I'll be doing a lot of these, and but before I do that, before I continue with this video, a big shout out to all my new subscribers. Thanks for subscribing. Check out my other two channels, that they're active as well. So Nintendo Fanboy Darkflame 64, just a quick shameless plug right there. Okay, so today's channel that I want to recommend to you guys to check out is Yermaker. So a lot of the videos in this channel are of the disturbing nature. So I just want to let you guys know that just straight off the bat. They're real stories. There's some disturbing things here, and there's just real life stuff, everyday life stuff. So if you're into that kind of strange, disturbing stuff, and there's going to be other channels like this that I will mention in the future, because I do have a few favorites in that genre of video making. So basically I'll just be showing a little bit of one of the videos that I liked, or just some of their content, to give you guys an idea or a feel of what to expect from the channel. So this one right here has got to be one of my favorites, and it's hard to say favorites, because the story, no one wants to say that, how my daughter passed away. Obviously that's not a good topic. It's a disturbing thing to say, for me to say it's one of my favorite stories, but I think you guys know what I mean by this. It's definitely a story that sticks with me, especially with this little girl. She's the same age as my little girl right now. So for a parent to talk about how their daughter has passed away and share it with us, hi baby, it's gotta take some serious balls. And I don't know why it doesn't say that I'm not subscribed to this guy. Okay, see, now it's saying unsubscribe. Okay, never mind. YouTube does that sometimes. There's like a little glitch that says you're not subscribed to someone, but you are. So anyways, I'm not gonna play this whole video. It is a 24-minute video, but I'm gonna kind of play a little bit of it so you guys can get the feel or the tone of the kind of videos you're gonna expect from this channel. Make sure you watch this video in its whole entirety, because the story is not just it's not just heartbreaking. It is something that is vital, that everyone needs to know how this happened, why, how this little girl was killed, and learn from it, because it is preventable. And it's little things like this that you don't really think about, but totally preventable. I guess I'm trying to give you guys an idea of how to take this story without telling you what happened. So again, I'm not gonna do any spoilers in here on this video. I'm just gonna play a little bit of the video, but I'm not gonna spoil anything, so that way when you do watch the actual thing, it doesn't spoil it for you guys, because I don't want to do that.
This is going to be the story about the day my daughter passed away. And for the most part, it'll be like my old video, because I actually wrote it down in my notebook. And funny thing is, my bookmark's still right on the beginning of the story. That's the last time I touched my notebook. I will be changing the name of my ex-wife. I used to call her Ashley in the story, but I think I'll just change it back to her real first name. So you guys will hear that this time as well. So this story is actually a parent's worst nightmare for sure. Might not be the typical scary story like a dude broke in or whatever, but for a parent this is definitely one of the scariest things that could happen.
I agree.
If you don't want to listen to this, feel free to click away, because it's a pretty sad story. And I think that's my cue to start the story. I'll give you...
Okay, so like I said, it is a sad story, but in the end of what happens, I do think that everyone needs to know what happened, because it can save a life. It will save a life. This story will cheer you up. It's sad. Every time I listen to it, it tears me up. So,
Give you guys a little bit of backstory. My daughter Charm was born December 2nd, 2004. At the time, I was 17 years old and I was living on my own with my then fiance. Her name is Brandy. Fast forward about 8 months and I had joined the army and married Brandy. We had a rocky relationship, but we held it together as best we could for our daughter. Fast forward a few years later. Brandy and I separated and I was in another state. I was in California. She was still living with my daughter in Kansas. I'd send money every month and that was pretty much how it was for a year or so. And then I got tired of living that far away from my daughter, so I decided to move back and packed a duffel bag, hopped on a Greyhound, and it was a 3-day Greyhound ride. And went all the way out there with no place to stay, no job, nothing like that. But ended up figuring it out, and Brandy and I ended up getting back together. We never did get a divorce, we were just separated, so we were still technically husband and wife. Where we were at, there were a lot of feral cats around, and my daughter used to always look out there and really want one of the kittens, so one day we decided to go out and catch her a kitten. So it was me, my daughter, and my ex-wife Brandy were all out there trying to catch a kitten for our daughter. We caught one, but it was a really ugly kitten, so we didn't want that one, so we let it go, and we ended up catching a different kitten that was actually really pretty. We took it inside and kept it away from our daughter for, I think it was like a week, just to make sure it wasn't going to hurt her. Surprisingly, the kitten calmed down after the first day, and it became one of the most loving kittens we had. And very loyal as well. We would let the cat outside to play with its mom and brothers and sisters and all that side, and it would play for a while, and then we'd walk inside and call it, and it would run back in and close the door, and we were a family again. I should also mention that my daughter had a black poodle named Chocolate. Tiny little thing. She would play baby with that dog. That dog was her baby, type of thing. Not long after, it became my daughter, the kitten, and Chocolate. By the way, we named the kitten Angel. For the next month or so after that, everything was awesome, and it was getting ready to come up on the Christmas season. By that point, I was actually working at a deli in a grocery store, but I had just called my old job to try to get it back because I made more money and I wanted money for Christmas. Regardless, I was still working at the deli at the time, and then that was actually the point I decided to call the Chinese restaurant to get my job back so I could have extra money for Christmas. And it was on that day, October 7th, that I mentioned it to the store manager at the deli that I would be leaving and go back to my old job for extra money. When I would take my lunch breaks from the deli, I would walk home. We lived about 6 blocks away, and I would just take a nap or whatever I wanted. And that day I happened to take a nap and my daughter slept right next to me. I woke up shortly after to go back to work and kissed my daughter goodbye, told her I loved her, walked out, went back to the deli. Not long after, my ex-wife Brandy gave me a call and said that the television wasn't working and our daughter wanted to watch The Fairly Odd Parents, which was her favorite show. I told her don't worry about it much, give our daughter my laptop, let her watch it on there, and I'll figure it out when I get home. Probably another hour goes by, and I'm going outside to take the grease out from the deli where we did the rotisserie chickens, and I also was going to steal a cigarette break. So I dump the grease and I'm having my cigarette, and I start hearing sirens. And it was one of the only times I ever even thought about the sirens. I was wondering where they were going, noticed they were getting closer, which is odd because normally I just ignore them. So I'm standing there listening to the sirens, and then all of a sudden the side door to get outside opens, and my coworker tells me that my ex-wife Brandy's on the phone. I go inside and she says baby girl's hurt. So I hang up and just run home. And the direction I was running from, I came through a back alley that would lead into our backyard and around front. And as soon as I entered from the alley into our backyard, all I could see were cop cars and an ambulance and a whole bunch of emergency personnel filling the yard. So I run up the front steps and the door's wide open, and I look inside and I don't see my daughter or my ex-wife. All I see is 2 officers, one male, one female, both leaning over a pile of blood. And I say a pile because it seemed like it was really thick. It was on carpet, so it wasn't necessarily a pool, but there were also chunks of something in there.
I'm just gonna end it right there. You guys can kind of get an idea of the type of videos that this guy does. So I will leave a link in the description to his main channel and a link to this video. You guys want to continue watching or listening to it. And I do, like I said, I highly recommend you guys do watch this video in its whole entirety, listen to it, and it's a tearjerker for sure, especially if you're a parent, and it's got a very important lesson. So I cannot stress that enough. It's got a very important lesson, and the message of the story is definitely it can save a life. It's the best way I can put it, and that's all I can say without spoiling the story. So thank you for checking out this video. Please, please, please check out the story in the description, and thank you for coming back and watching another video. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. So, all right, guys, Tony Dark out. I will catch you guys on the next one.